Welcome to the Deep Dive. We unpack the big ideas, the latest developments, and give you the insights you really need. Today, we're diving into something pretty ambitious. It could fundamentally change how we think about energy globally. Imagine, like a single standardized box, a power unit that could run everything from a massive AI data center right down to your house. And it's designed to be fast to deploy, super scalable, and importantly, a lot cleaner.
That's the core of it. Our mission today is to really break down this vision for, well, what they're calling Generator X. And this isn't just a small step up. It's pitched as a new industry standard device. The idea is for Elon Musk to fast track it, leveraging Tesla's manufacturing muscle, to meet these huge urgent energy needs from things like XAI and other new tech. So we'll look at the features, the feasibility, is this even possible? The market impact, and how it tackles some critical energy problems.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So Generator X, what is it exactly at its heart, and what's the real game changer here compared to the generators we already have?
Right. So Generator X is conceived as this modular generator. It runs on fossil fuels, yes, but here's the kicker. Integrated automotive-style emission controls. These aren't add-ons, they're baked in. Designed so the unit is EPA compliant, literally straight out of the box. The vision is pre-certified, ready to go, and scalable because you can just connect them in parallel. Think units around, say, 100 to 500 kilowatts. So useful for all sorts of things. And the ambition, huge. They want to basically transform the, $36 billion global generator market by 2030?
Okay. Integrated emission controls. Generators have emission systems now, right? What makes these so special? Why is that the big deal?
Yeah, this is where the engineering detail matters. It would have advanced selective catalytic reduction, SCR, built right in, plus oxidation catalysts. So SCR, it's pretty sophisticated. It cleans the exhaust. You inject a liquid, like urea, into the exhaust. It reacts with the nasty stuff, the nitrogen oxides and NOx, over a catalyst, and turns it into harmless nitrogen and water vapor, basically.
Like a little purification plant inside the generator itself.
Exactly. It mimics how modern cars meet really strict standards, like EPA Tier 3 for vehicles. But the key for Generator X is doing this at the factory, so zero regulatory delays for the user. And it drastically cuts NOx. The target is below 0.5 grams per kilowatt hour plus CO and particulates. That's a big departure.
0.5 grams per kilowatt hour. How does that stack up, like compared to typical industrial power sources now?
Oh, it's a massive improvement. Many older, even some current industrial generators could be putting out 10, maybe 20 times that much NOx. So this target, it's aiming to bring these big units down to emission levels you might see from like the cleanest new cars. That's pretty revolutionary for industrial power.
Wow. Okay. And the modular scalable part. How does a relatively small 100 kilowatt box power something enormous like a gigawatt data center?
Right. The magic there is the integrated microgrid technology. Each unit isn't just dumb power. It's smart. It communicates and coordinates with the others. They form their own little power network. Flexible, resilient. It's a decentralized way to scale up fast without needing the massive, slow, centralized grid upgrades you usually see.
So you just plug more in?
Essentially, yes. Start with one 100 kilowatt unit for, a remote cabin. Or link up thousands for something huge, like XAI's planned 1 gigawatt Colossus supercomputer. Hypothetically, that could run on maybe 2,000 Generator X units working together. That plug-and-play scalability gives you incredible flexibility. Small local needs, massive industrial operations, same basic building block.
Okay, but let's tackle the obvious question. Fossil fuels, natural gas, sure, it's cleaner than diesel, but how does that fit with sustainability goals? Isn't that looking backward?
That's a really important point, and it's addressed in the design. Natural gas is the starting point. Yes, cleaner than diesel, fewer particulates. But the future-proofing is key. These units are supposed to be compatible with biogas or even hydrogen right from the start.
Ah, okay. So they could switch fuels later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As those renewable fuels become more available, more economical, the generators can transition. It's designed as a bridge. It offers an immediate solution for today's energy crunch, but with a path towards decarbonization, not locking us into old tech. Of course, the challenge, the big hurdle, is making sure those cleaner fuels do become cheap and widely available fast enough for that transition to really matter on a big scale.
You also mentioned out-of-the-box compliance. Why is that such a huge selling point, especially thinking about, permitting headaches we hear about?
Oh, it's critical. Pre-compliance means the product itself gets certified for tough standards like EPA Tier 4 before it even leaves the factory floor. This totally sidesteps the usual nightmare. Normally, each place you install a generator needs its own lengthy environmental review site-specific permits. That can take years, literally years.
Right. This puts the burden on the manufacturer, not the user. So deployment gets drastically faster. And it directly addresses the kind of problems XAI ran into with those early Memphis turbines, big emissions. No permits initially, lots of criticism. Pre-compliance avoids that whole drama.
And the last piece, mass production on a super fast timeline. How realistic is that for complex power gear?
The plan hinges on Tesla's Gigafactories. Using their existing supply chains, their highly automated manufacturing lines, the idea is to ramp up production incredibly fast, months, not years, and achieve really low costs, aiming for $500 to $1,000 per kilowatt.
That sounds very cheap compared to traditional options.
Significantly cheaper, potentially. That aggressive cost, plus the sheer volume, is how they see Generator X becoming this accessible new industry standard.
Okay, now let's really dig into that timeline. Months, not years, for something like this. How is it even plausible? Are things like building EVs or rockets really comparable to industrial power systems?
Different challenges, right? It's a fair question. Sure, the specifics differ. But Musk's track record is about scaling advanced manufacturing very, very quickly. Think about the Gigafactories, pumping out EVs and batteries. The Megapack energy storage. That's already a multi-billion-dollar a year business.
Right.
Or SpaceX mass-producing rockets. It's about applying those proven high-volume manufacturing processes, the automation, the supply chain management to a new product. So Generator X could potentially repurpose Tesla's power electronics, their cooling tech, their production lines. It's not starting entirely from zero. It's adaptation and integration.
You mentioned the fast timeline example, XII's Colossus facility apparently built in 19 days. How does building a facility translate to designing and producing a brand new generator?
Right. That example shows the mindset, the ability to push schedules aggressively. The thinking for Generator X is likely adapting existing proven gas engine designs, maybe from established players. Instead of years of ground-up R&D, you take a solid engine core and rapidly integrate Tesla's expertise, the emission controls, the power electronics, the software. That integration and optimization path could genuinely lead to a working prototype in, say, 6 to 12 months, then scale production quickly after that. It's about leveraging what exists, but making it much better, faster, cleaner.
Okay, what about the emission control tech itself? Is that part truly revolutionary, or is the innovation more about how it's packaged and scaled?
The core technologies, the SCR systems, the oxidation catalysts, they're mature. They're used in various places already, even some smaller generators. What's novel here is the deep integration, making it pre-certified, mass-produced for rapid deployment at this scale, and the potential hybrid aspect. Yeah, imagine pairing Generator X with a Tesla Megapack battery. Tesla's battery know-how is obviously huge. That synergy. Generator plus battery could boost efficiency even further, cut emissions more, provide instant power while the generator ramps up. That makes it not just compliant, but truly cleaner and more flexible.
So, with all of this potential capability, who needs this much power this fast? What's the market demand driving this whole idea?
Oh, the demand is absolutely enormous, and it's growing like crazy. First, you've got AI data centers. Projections are wild, like 134 terawatt hours needed by 2027. That's roughly 15 gigawatts of constant power. That's like powering a small nation just for AI.
15 gigawatts, wow.
Then, EV charging. The global EV market could hit $1 trillion by 2030. All those cars need juice, everywhere, often in places where the grid is weak or slow to upgrade. Generator X could fill that gap fast. Robotics, too. Think Tesla's Optimus robot, factory automation. They need reliable, sometimes mobile or temporary, power sources. And yeah, even home crypto mining. Bitcoin alone uses something like 150 terawatt hours a year. That's a big distributed energy demand. Efficient, localized power could be appealing there.
That definitely paints a picture of need. So what's the proposed execution plan? How do they actually plan to get Generator X built and out into these markets?
It's laid out pretty aggressively. Phase 1, design. 3 to 6 months. Develop maybe a 500 kilowatt natural gas unit, integrate the SCR, catalysts, microgrid controls, get it EPA Tier 4 certified, build in that hydrogen compatibility. Phase 2, production. 6 to 12 months later, repurpose part of a gigafactory. Aim for 10,000 units a month. Hit that target cost of maybe $500 per kilowatt. That's the really ambitious part. Phase 3, deployment. Start by replacing, say, those unpermitted Memphis turbines for XAI with compliant Generator X units. Prove it works, prove it's clean. Then market aggressively to other data centers, EV charging networks, robotaxi hubs, maybe even eventually to home users.
Okay, so stepping back, what does this all mean for the wider market, and maybe even for you listening at home, beyond just powering giant server farms?
Yeah, let's connect the dots. If this plays out, it could seriously shake up a few key areas. In commercial markets, those AI data centers are the obvious first target. If Generator X could grab, say, half of that projected 15 gigawatt a data center demand by 2030, that's potentially billions, maybe $7.5 billion a year in revenue right there. For EV charging, imagine these units popping up quickly to support Tesla's superchargers or robo-taxi depots, especially out in rural areas or places the grid struggles to reach, powering maybe 100 million EVs globally by 2030. And robotics having modular, easy-to-deploy power for things like Optimus or automated factories makes those technologies much more flexible. Power where you need it, when you need it.
And shifting to home markets, how does this actually touch the average person's life?
This is where it could get quite personal. For Bitcoin mining, yeah, a smaller 100 kilowatt unit could power several rigs, maybe a small off-grid mining setup where power is cheap. But more broadly, for residential power, think backup power during outages, or enabling off-grid living in remote spots. It could directly compete with companies like Generac in the home generator market, which is already a multi-billion-dollar space. And that scalability matters here too. A 100 kilowatt unit for your house, maybe a 500 kilowatt for small business, or a community microgrid.
So it's not just aiming to compete, it's aiming to become the standard. How does one product realistically achieve that level of dominance across so many uses?
That's the really fascinating parallel they might be aiming for. Think about how Tesla's EV charging plug became the standard in North America, the NACS standard. Generator X could try the same thing. If it truly undercuts competitors on cost and emissions, with that pre-compliance and easy scalability, the vision is it could capture maybe over half of that $36 billion global generator market by 2030.
That's $18 billion a year in revenue?
Potentially, yes. And beyond just selling the boxes, licensing the emission control tech to other generator makers could create massive royalty streams. It's about setting a whole new baseline for decentralized, clean, compliant power. Make it the default choice.
Okay, let's talk really big picture now. If this whole ambitious plan actually works, what kind of economic potential are we looking at? Is this $1 trillion idea?
The projections certainly aim that high. It's staggering. Let's break down the potential revenue streams. You've got direct sales, right? Billions from data centers, maybe tens of billions eventually from home and small business markets. Then maybe AI power bundles sell Generator X with XAI services at a premium. Licensing that emission tech could be another $5-10 million a year in royalties. And offering energy as a service, basically leasing these units out for EV charging hubs or mining farms. That creates steady recurring revenue. So you add all that up. If they could somehow hit, say, $70 billion in annual revenue across these streams, apply a tech-like price-to-sales multiple, maybe 15x. And yeah, mathematically, you get to a $1 trillion valuation.
That's astronomical.
It is, but achieving it, that requires flawless execution on manufacturing, hitting those aggressive cost targets, navigating regulations smoothly. Any slip-up affects those numbers dramatically. But the synergies are also powerful. Imagine Generator X integrated with Tesla's Megapacks, Solar, Optimus robots, and XAI's platforms. That creates this vertically integrated energy AI ecosystem. That alone could seriously boost XAI's valuation.
What specific advantages does Musk bring that make people even consider this plausible, given the scale and the tightrope walk needed?
I think it boils down to maybe three things. First, speed. His track record shows an ability to build fast. Memphis in 19 days, Gigafactory Shanghai in 10 months. Leveraging Tesla's existing systems just accelerates everything for a project like this. Second, brand. Tesla has this sustainability halo, rightly or wrongly. Combined with XAI's AI leadership, it makes Generator X seem like a compelling clean power story. That helps overcome potential negativity, like from the initial Memphis issues, by offering a compliant, cleaner solution from day one. And third, scale. Tesla proved Musk can build trillion-dollar companies by disrupting huge, established industries. Generator X is aiming for that same playbook in the energy sector. It leverages that proven ability to think incredibly big and actually execute.
Okay, but this raises the crucial feasibility question again. Such huge goals. What are the biggest, toughest hurdles that could actually stop this? The real deal breakers?
Absolutely. It's definitely not a smooth ride. Competition is a major one. You've got giants Caterpillar, Cummins, GE, who already own the generator market. They have the sales networks, the service teams, the long-term customer relationships. Generator X needs to be drastically better or cheaper and build that trust and support network fast. Then, regulatory risks. Yeah, it's pre-compliant, but local air boards, different countries. They can still throw up roadblocks with site-specific rules or changing standards. Navigating that global patchwork, even with a certified product, is complex.
Right, the real world always adds layers.
Exactly. Public perception is another big one. Those early lawsuits over emissions in Memphis show how sensitive this is. Any misstep in execution, any hint of greenwashing could cause serious PR damage and undermine community acceptance, especially when putting power plants, even small ones, near people. And finally, capital. This needs massive investment in manufacturing. Given XAI's current spending and projected early losses, the ramp-up has to be incredibly efficient and cost-effective, or it could really strain the finances.
Let's circle back to that Memphis lesson you mentioned. How exactly does Generator X solve the specific pollution and permitting problems seen there?
It's designed almost as a direct answer to those problems. Remember, the issue in Memphis was largely unpermitted turbines putting out significant NOx. Generator X tackles this head-on. First, pre-compliance. Factory-certified EPA units mean you avoid those initial permitting battles and potential non-compliance issues XAI faced. It's compliant by design. Second, lower emissions. That integrated SCR and catalyst system is designed to slash NOx way down, below that 0.5 GkWh target. That's drastically lower than uncontrolled or older tech, directly addressing the health concerns, especially in areas like Memphis that already face air quality challenges. So by offering clean, modular, compliant from the start units, the goal is to rebuild trust, satisfy regulators, and allow expansion like XAI's to happen responsibly and much, much faster.
It's certainly a profound vision we've unpacked today. From powering our homes off-grid to fueling the massive compute needed for AI, Generator X, as laid out in the sources we looked at, really could reshape the entire power generation landscape, setting new standards for cleaner, highly scalable power, meeting these huge emerging energy demands. It's quite something to consider.
It really is. And it leads you to think, imagine a world where getting power isn't this huge, complex infrastructure project, but more like plug and play. Truly distributed, much cleaner by design. If that future takes hold, what other shifts does it enable, beyond just charging our phones or running servers? What stands out to you about where that could lead?